Hi, my name is Mary and welcome along to this full body stretch. You won't need any props for today's practice, just yourself and your mat, and when you're ready, we'll go ahead and get started on hands and knees. Coming to hands and knees, setting your wrists up just below your shoulders and your knees below your hips. Root down into all 10 fingers, all 10 knuckles, and as you inhale, begin to lift your chest, lift your tailbone. Exhale, press into the hands, draw your chin to your chest and tuck the tailbone in underneath. Inhale, lift the heart, lift the chest. Maybe begin to gaze up if that's comfortable on the neck. And exhaling to round, chin to chest, pressing into hands, knees and shins. Cat-cow pose. Inhale, heart lifts, tailbone lifts. Really extend the length of your exhale as you round, continuing to move until you've no air left. And one last time. Take your left hand a big step out in front of you, and you can come to fingertips or you can come to a flat palm. And then treading the needle here, reach your right arm in underneath the left, reaching the right fingertips towards the left side of your mat. Ground down into the back of the right hand. Your head can come to a block, it might come to the mat, or even to a pillow if that feels more comfortable for you. And then begin to open your left shoulder, maybe lifting the left armpit and the left elbow towards the ceiling. You might stay there, you might start to walk the hands over towards the right side of the mat, leaning back into the posture. If you need a little bit more space, move the knees slightly further away from the hands, or even widen the distance between the knees. Take your left hand back down in line with your face. As you breathe in, sweep the right arm up towards the ceiling, opening the chest towards the right side of your mat. And then exhale, bring your right hand down, a big step out in front of you towards the top of the mat, on tented fingers or on the flat of the hand, reaching your left arm in underneath. Spread through your left fingers as you root down into the back of the left hand. Take your head to wherever it's comfortable and then begin to open your chest towards the right side of your mat. Lifting the armpit, lifting the elbow, maybe tiptoeing your fingers over towards the left and doing the same thing. Opening up here into the backs of the shoulders. Breathing into it, trying to soften as you exhale. Bring your right hand back down in line with your face, pressing into the right hand. Inhale, lift the left arm up, opening the chest towards your left. And as you exhale, bring the left hand back down. Step the hands out, one hand's distance in front of you, spreading the fingers, pressing into the hands. Tuck the toes under, lifting the hips up into downward facing dog, and you might need to adjust the position of your feet here slightly. Take a big deep bend into your left knee, coming onto your left tippy toes, and then start to root your right heel down towards the mat. Stretching into the back of the right leg. As you press into your right heel, can you lift the front of the right hip up slightly? And then swapping, bend into your right leg, coming onto your right tippy toes, begin to root down through the left heel. And maybe it touches the mat, maybe it doesn't. Don't be too concerned, just looking for sensation into the back of the left leg. And as you root through the heel, can you lift the front of the hip up slightly? Keep pressing down into the hands. Come onto the tippy toes of both feet. And as you exhale, press down into both heels, energetically hug the upper arms in towards the ears and relax your head and your neck. Gaze back towards the feet, begin to walk your hands back to meet the feet, trying to keep the hands as flat as possible for as long as possible. You might need to bend the knees a little or a lot to walk back. Coming into a forward fold, release the head and the neck completely. The hands can stay on the mat, they can come to the shins, or if it works, take the hands to the back of the head. Start to draw your elbows towards each other and then down towards your shins. At the same time, you might shift the weight forward into the toes a little bit more, work towards straightening the legs, releasing the head and the neck. Bring your hands back to your shins, press in. Inhale, lift your chest and look forward. As you breathe out, fold it down, shift the weight into the toes as you fold, releasing the head and the neck completely at the end. Bring the weight back into the heels with bent legs. Inhale, stretch the arms up, reach up. As you exhale, take the hands back, interlace the fingers behind your back. Bend the elbows until you can get the heels of the hands to connect, resting your thumbs on your sacrum for a moment. Start to draw your elbows back, hugging the shoulder blades in towards each other and opening the front of the chest. And you might stay there, or maybe start to reach your knuckles down towards the mat, feeling the upper arms move in a little bit closer together without locking out the elbows. If it works for you, bend the knees, begin to hinge at the hips, resting your belly on your thighs, reaching the arms up overhead. Relax your head and your neck completely. Try to keep the heels of the hands connected as you fold. And if this feels too much, come back to one of the previous options. Work towards straightening the legs, shifting the weight into the toes that bit more. Slowly, without slingshotting, release the hands back down. Take your fingertips to your shins. Inhale, look forward, lift your chest. As you exhale, fold it down. Plant your hands to the mat. Slowly begin to walk your hands forward, all the way to the top of your mat. And coming back into downward facing dog, feel that rooting down through the heels. Come up onto your tippy toes, press into the hands and slowly start to tippy toe forward. When you feel like you're getting stuck, bend into your legs, walk your hands back to meet the feet, fold down over the legs. Bring your hands to your shins, inhale, lift your chest. As you exhale, fold down, release the head and the neck. Press into the heels, inhale, sweep the arms up, reach up. Breathe out, bring your hands to your chest. Step forward to the top of your mat if you're not already there. Breathe in, sweep the arms up. Breathe out, fold it down with a soft bend in the knees. Take your hands to the floor, in under the shoulders or to the shins. Inhale, lift up halfway. Then plant the hands as you exhale. Step your right leg all the way to the back of the mat. Come up onto the right tippy toes until your heel stacks over your toes, and then maybe slide back a little bit more so you can get your left shin vertical. The left knee is stacked directly over the left ankle. From there, lower your right knee to the mat and untuck your right toes. You know you're in the correct position when you look back and your right knee is a good bit back behind your hip. Press down into the top of your right shin. Bring your left hand to your left thigh, followed by the right, and then begin to press into the hands to lift the chest. As you press into the hands and lift the chest, can you counter that by thinking about moving your right knee forward, or your left knee forward, and engaging your right glute slightly. So this is one of my favorite stretches to open the front of the right hip, which tends to get pretty tight from all the sitting, the driving, and just the general being stationary that modern life has got us in. It's also a really nice way to strengthen the left hamstring as you root down into the left heel. Take both hands back down to the mat. Tuck your right toes under, lift the right leg away from the mat and step it in just about 1 foot's distance. From there, start to straighten the left leg, and it might straighten, it might not go anywhere near straightening, that's fine. But can you feel like you're drawing your left hip up and at the same time pressing down into the full left foot as you begin to fold over your left leg? See if you can keep that right leg active by pressing the heel down towards the mat, lifting the kneecap away from the mat. You might need to build the floor up to you here with some blocks or some books, so your hands are a little bit higher. Bend into your left knee, walk the hands forward, pressing into the left heel, step the right foot up to meet the left and fold down over the legs. Take your hands to your shins, lift your chest, look forward as you breathe in. As you exhale, fold down over the legs, releasing the head and the neck. Inhale with soft knees, reach the arms up overhead. And breathe out, bring your hands to your chest. Inhale, arms reach up. Exhale, fold it down. Hands in under the shoulders or to shins. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, plant your hands. Step your left leg to the back of the mat. Come up onto your left tippy toes, making sure that your right shin stays vertical, maybe moving that left leg back a little bit more. And then lowering your left knee to the mat, untucking your toes. If your left knee is uncomfortable, you can double up your mat, or you can grab a blanket or a towel and place it in underneath the left leg. Root down into your right heel, begin to lift your chest, right hand, then left hand to your right thigh. Pressing into the hand, start to draw your front ribs back and counter that by engaging your left glute. Energetically think about moving your right knee forward as you move the ribs back. If you are pretty tight in the hips here, what tends to happen is you come into a back bend. So can you really think about drawing the front of the ribs together and your belly button down towards the pelvis? And that's going to really help to target the hip flexors and the quads of the left leg. Take your hands back down to the mat. Tuck your left toes under, lift the left leg and step it in about 1 foot. From there, press into your right heel as you lift the right hip up and back, and then begin to fold down over the right leg. At the same time, root down into your left heel, lifting the kneecap away from the mat. Softening your arms if that works for you, building the floor up if that's needed. Bend back into your right leg, walk the hands forward, and step the left foot up to meet the right, coming into a forward fold. Press the hands into the shins, lift your chest as you inhale. Exhale to fold it down, releasing the head and the neck. Press back into the heels, inhale, sweep the arms up and overhead. As you exhale, bring your hands to your chest, start to bend into the knees, shifting the hips back and working towards bringing your heels to your bum. If you get stuck at any stage, you can just come down to your mat. Take the hands behind you. Bring the soles of the feet together and come to sit down on your mat. Fingertips are behind you here. Draw the upper arms into your upper back and begin to lift your chest. At the same time, feel like you're engaging the glutes slightly, which helps to bring the legs into external rotation. So opening up the groins, the hip flexors here, or the groins and the adductors, apologies. And if you feel like you're uncomfortable here, you can walk the hands a little bit further back. You can always move the heels further away from the hips, or even sit up on something. So prop up with some blocks or books or pillows in underneath the hips. Gently pressing the soles of the feet together, but keep that engagement of the glutes, like you're trying to move the sit bones towards each other. Draw the knees back together, come down onto your back, and take the arms by your side. Walk the heels in until the heels are around in underneath the knees. Press down into the feet, press down into the tops of the arms, and begin to lift your hips up and away from the mat. Here, think about drawing your knees in towards each other, and you can stay as you are. Maybe interlace the fingers and walk the shoulder blades nice and close together. Grounding down into the baby toe sides of the feet. See if you can start to lift your chest up towards your chin a little bit more. Keeping the inner thighs hugging in together and engaging the backs of the legs by pressing into the heels and lifting the bum. Release the hands. And slowly, one vertebrae at a time, begin to make your way down onto your mat again. Take the left knee into the chest, interlace the fingers to the back of the left leg. Right foot can stay on the mat, or your right leg can extend to straight with the center of the heel grounding into the mat. As you inhale, begin to straighten your left leg, pressing up through the heel, keeping your left shoulders grounded. And if the leg feels pretty tight, to extend it to straight and keep it there, then maybe bend it and straighten it to your breath. If it works for you to stay, stay. You can keep the hands as you are, thinking about drawing your thigh in towards your body as you lift through the heel. Or maybe start to walk the hands up towards the back of the left leg, but keep the back of your head and your shoulders imprinted to the mat. Fan out your left toes as you lift through the heel. And at the same time, root the left side of the low back down into your mat. Bend into your left knee. Take your right hand to the outside of the left knee. Left arm out to the side, and then slowly come into a supine twist here, moving your left knee towards the right side of your mat. It might come all the way down, it might not. See if you can keep a heaviness into your left shoulder, and take 3 breaths here, in through the nose. As you exhale, breathe out through the mouth, drawing the belly button in towards the spine. Take your left hand back in, or right hand back in underneath the left knee. Move the knee back to the center. Bring the foot down, and if your hips moved, bring them back to the middle of your mat. Right knee comes into the chest, interlace the fingers to the back of your right leg. Left foot can stay as it is, or it can extend out to straight. Flex your right foot, toes back towards the shins, and as you breathe in, reach up through the right heel. At the same time, draw your right thigh in towards you. And again, if the hamstring feels a little tighter, then move to your breath, inhaling to extend and exhaling to bend. Or if it serves you to stay straight, stay there. You can even walk the hands up towards the calf, spreading your toes, softening your shoulders. And noticing here if your left leg is turning out to the left, can you keep the center of the heel rooted into your mat so your left big toe stays pointing towards the ceiling? Bend back into your right leg. Take your left hand to the outside of your right knee, right arm to the side. And then slowly coming into that supine twist, bringing your left knee across towards the right side of your mat. Trying to keep your right shoulder grounded. Take 3 breaths in through the nose. As you exhale out through the mouth, draw the belly button in towards the spine and breathe out all of the air in the body. You might get a couple of clicks, a couple of readjustments of the spine here. Take your left hand in underneath the right knee and support it to come back to the center. Extend the right leg out to straight. Make sure that your body is in a nice straight line. Take your left hand to your heart, your right hand to your tummy. Staying here for maybe 5, maybe 10, maybe even 20 breaths. Each exhale focusing on relaxing some part of the body a little bit more. I'd like to thank you for joining me in this practice, and I hope to see you on the mat soon again. Namaste.